Have you ever wondered what gives your favorite dishes that savory taste? The answer lies in a secret ingredient that graces kitchens worldwide, monosodium glutamate or MSG. This humble compound, often simply dusted over meals, is what brings out the rich, deep flavors that we can't help but crave. From the tangy zest in your favorite pizza to the robust flavor in a bowl of hot soup, MSG plays a significant role in enhancing these tastes. But the magic of MSG goes beyond mere flavor enhancement. It's the key to unlocking umami, the fifth basic taste, joining the ranks of sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Umami, a term derived from Japanese, translates to pleasant, savory taste, and that's exactly what MSG imparts. A taste that's distinct yet universal, a taste that's savory yet satisfying. The story of this savory powerhouse begins with a Japanese chemist and a bowl of seaweed broth. In 1908, a Japanese chemist named Kikunae Ikeda was intrigued by the savory taste of seaweed broth. A common ingredient in Japanese cuisine, seaweed broth held a mysterious allure that went beyond the known tastes of sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. This led Ikeda on a culinary detective mission to uncover the secret behind this unique flavor. Ikeda's research led him to the discovery of a compound responsible for this distinct taste. He called it umami, a term in his native Japanese that translates to pleasant savory taste. But what was the source of this umami? Ikeda found that the key component was glutamic acid, a type of amino acid naturally present in many foods. But Ikeda didn't stop there. He wanted to harness this umami flavor in a form that could be easily used in cooking. So he embarked on a series of experiments, culminating in the creation of a stable and easily soluble form of glutamic acid. He achieved this by combining glutamic acid with sodium, and thus monosodium glutamate, or MSG as we know it today, was born. MSG was a culinary breakthrough. It offered the ability to intensify and round out flavors, making dishes more delicious and satisfying. Think of it as the secret ingredient that could make a good dish great, adding depth and complexity to an array of culinary creations. But beyond its potential in the kitchen, MSG represented a significant scientific discovery. It was the first time a fifth basic taste, alongside sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, was identified. Ikeda's work expanded our understanding of taste and how we experience food. It showed us that our palates were more complex and capable of discerning more flavors than we had previously thought. And so, with a sprinkle of science and a dash of culinary curiosity, Kikunae Ikeda's discovery of MSG not only revealed the secret behind the savory taste of seaweed broth, but also opened up a new world of flavor possibilities. Ikeda's discovery was about to change the culinary world. Just a year after its discovery, MSG began to make its mark on the food industry. In 1909, Japanese chemist Kikunae Ikeda, the man behind the discovery of MSG, co-founded a company called Ajinomoto. The company's name fittingly translates to the essence of taste, and it was here that MSG was first commercialized. Ajinomoto started producing MSG as a flavor enhancer, and it quickly gained traction in Japan. The savory flavor it imparted to a variety of dishes was a hit, and MSG quickly became a staple in Japanese kitchens. But the MSG wave didn't stop there. The mid-20th century saw the production and use of MSG spread far beyond the borders of Japan. Its popularity skyrocketed across the globe, and it became a widely used ingredient in the international food industry. From canned soups and processed meats to restaurant dishes and home cooking, MSG was everywhere. As MSG's popularity grew, so did the controversies surrounding it. In the mid-20th century, MSG became a topic of debate. The 1960s and 1970s saw the rise of concerns surrounding the safety of this common flavor enhancer. A term, Chinese restaurant syndrome, began to circulate as individuals started reporting symptoms such as headaches, nausea, and dizziness after consuming Chinese food, which often contained MSG. The mysterious ailment was quickly attributed to this umami-rich compound. However, the scientific community had a different take on this. Research studies were conducted to delve into these claims, but they failed to provide consistent support. Many of these symptoms were later considered part of a broader phenomenon known as reactor symptoms or MSG symptom complex, suggesting that a variety of factors could trigger these reactions, not just MSG. In fact, comprehensive scientific reviews concluded that MSG, when consumed in typical amounts, posed no harm to the majority of people. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, classified MSG as generally recognized as safe, a designation that reaffirmed its safety for use in foods. This classification wasn't unique to the United States. Regulatory agencies around the world echoed this sentiment, further solidifying MSG's position in the food industry. Yet, as with many things, perception often trumps reality. Despite the scientific consensus, the controversy surrounding MSG persisted, fueled by a combination of misinformation, cultural biases, and the power of anecdotal evidence. This resulted in a negative perception of MSG, often referred to as the MSG myth, which continues to linger in some circles even today. However, it's important to remember that all foods can cause adverse reactions in certain individuals. And while some people may have a sensitivity to MSG, much like with other foods, this doesn't make it harmful to the general population. Despite the controversies, MSG's role in the culinary world was only growing. As we'll see in the next segment, the concept of umami began to gain recognition, and MSG became a key player in enhancing the savory taste in a variety of cuisines. The savory taste of umami began to receive recognition in the culinary world. The distinct flavor of umami, that mysterious fifth taste, started to pique the interest of food lovers around the globe. It was a taste that had long been enjoyed but only now had a name. This was more than just a buzzword. It was a fundamental shift in understanding the complexity of flavor. Umami, the Japanese term for pleasant savory taste, was acknowledged as the fifth basic taste, joining the ranks of sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. This recognition wasn't merely academic, it had a profound impact on the culinary arts. Savvy chefs and food enthusiasts quickly began to appreciate the role of umami in enhancing the depth and richness of flavors in their dishes. It was the secret weapon, the magic ingredient that could elevate a dish from good to unforgettable. The taste of umami provided a satisfying mouthfeel, a lingering depth that made food more delicious and satisfying. Then came the realization that monosodium glutamate, or MSG, was a key component in creating this umami sensation. This revelation sparked a culinary revolution. MSG was no longer just a commercial additive, it was a chef's ally. The use of MSG became deliberate and purposeful, a calculated move to boost the umami factor in a variety of cuisines. It wasn't just confined to Asian cooking either. Chefs from all corners of the globe started to experiment with MSG, whether it was to intensify the meaty flavor of a rich Italian ragu, or to accentuate the earthiness of a mushroom risotto. MSG was the secret ingredient that could add a whole new dimension of flavor. Umami was the talk of the town, and MSG was the celebrity of the moment. But like any celebrity, it had its share of controversies. Despite the scientific consensus on its safety, the reputation of MSG was tainted by unfounded fears and misconceptions. MSG had found its place in the kitchen, but its journey was far from over. Today, MSG is a widely used flavor enhancer, yet its reputation is still a point of discussion. From the humble home kitchen to the bustling restaurant scene, and even in the realm of processed foods, MSG has found its place as a cherished flavor booster. Its unique ability to intensify and perfectly balance flavors makes dishes irresistibly palatable. It's like the magic wand of the culinary world, turning the ordinary into extraordinary with just a dash. But let's address the elephant in the room, the persistent myth surrounding MSG. Despite countless scientific studies supporting its safety, the specter of the so-called Chinese restaurant syndrome still lingers. Some people continue to avoid MSG like the plague, driven by unfounded fears and misconceptions. This situation is akin to an old ghost story, retold over generations, each time with a little more embellishment, until the original truth is lost in a fog of hearsay. In response to these consumer concerns, the food industry has adopted a rather ingenious approach. Instead of waving the MSG flag high, they've taken to using alternative terms. Yeast extract, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, autolyzed yeast. These aren't just fancy words on your food labels. They're the industry's subtle way of saying, hey, we've got that savory goodness you love, but without the dreaded MSG label. It's a fascinating dance of perception and reality. On one hand, we have MSG, a scientifically proven safe ingredient that enhances flavor like no other. On the other, we have the lingering myth, a product of misinformation and fear. And in the middle, we find the food industry creatively navigating the turbulent waters of consumer sentiment. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. MSG, despite its controversial reputation, remains a key player in our gastronomic experiences. It continues to add that extra oomph to our favorite dishes, from the comforting bowl of soup on a cold day to the indulgent takeout on a lazy Sunday. MSG, the savory secret, continues to flavor our favorite dishes, proving that the taste of umami is here to stay.